Kurt.
Yes.
Your dad is videotaping us, and you want to get involved in learning a little bit about the trades that are required to turn a house. And this is a minor turn. It's all brick house, what have you. So we're just going to walk around the outside first, and I've already walked the house a little bit, so I know a little bit about what we need to do here. And to be successful in this business, you can't be able to do absolutely everything. You got to build a team at some point.
Yes, sir.
And you got to go to work and learn that from somebody else that knows more than you do.
Yes.
I've got to say, everybody's stupid, just on a different set of subjects. So when it comes to actually doing the work here, I'm stupid.
Okay.
But I know what to look for.
What's that?
So one of the first things that I noticed here when we came in here, that some of this wrought iron railing is loose. And so it's at a couple of different spots. And you can see here where the paint is chipped off.
Yes, sir.
Well, that, in St. Louis, they have something called lead-based paint issues. So if the paint is chipping off of this, we need to wire brush this down, and then we need to repaint it. Secondly, we're looking at the old landscaping here. So we got to have somebody that, if we need to, might have to be a welder. So that would be one thing that would possibly be needed here. Then you've got this old landscaping. It's not in very good shape. Some of the landscaping is loose here. So now we've got a possibility of a welder, somebody that can work with wrought iron, and now we have somebody that we need to be able to clean up the yard.
Yes.
You've got some dead limbs in this tree.
Yeah.
You can see some of them are kind of loose. So an inspector, an occupancy inspector, is going to want to make sure. So we might need a tree person, because I can't ask the guy that can repair the iron
Right.
to go up there and cut the tree line.
Exactly. Gotcha.
Okay, so now we're going to walk around the side of the house here. If we can start walking in this direction. The windows here are original. We'll see on the inside, it's got storm windows here, and you've got screens. Sometimes there are screens that are missing, like that one over there.
Yeah.
So there are kits that can be purchased at Home Depot to create a screen, because in the summertime, the inspectors want to be able to have screens on those windows.
Gotcha.
So the garage door looks in pretty good shape. If we look at this, if we look at the fascia board, the fascia board is that board that you can see facing us.
Yes.
Fascia board.
Right.
Then you got the soffits. They look in fairly good shape. There's a little bit of a turn down there, but the gutters are probably full because of all this tree. So we have to have somebody that can clean those gutters out and possibly put on gutter guards. So as we go into the backyard, this is the old aluminum, and this is the garage, so the inspector wouldn't probably make us do anything with this window. So now let's see if we can open the gate here. Kurt, we've got this shed over here. Now the shed is in pretty bad shape.
Right.
And we've got a lot of vegetation here, so the guys that are going to do the yard cleanup are going to need to clean this all up so somebody can get in there to do the repairs that need to be made. So as we walk around this shed, not to change the subject, but you can see in Missouri you've got crazy weather. So this is a flat roof. This part of the house was probably built on at a different point in time.
Gotcha.
And so basically it's got almost a flat roof up there.
Right.
So you can see that over the winter you had sleet, then you had freezing rain, and then you had ice, and you can see what it has done to that gutter. It's pulled it away from the house. In spite of that, the baseboard looks pretty good.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, so on the shed, all kinds of dry rot on that. That'll never pass, and again, you've got lead-based paint issues, and even though this paint was probably painted with a latex in the state of Missouri, if anything's peeling like this, then you're going to have to repaint it because they won't say that it could have leaked.
Gotcha.
the inside of the shed here, you can see we've got damage here and what have you. So if we're going to try to keep this shed, what we probably will do on the outside, we'll put a band board all the way around the shed. That will take care of the bottom part, because we don't want to tear down the entire shed, but we want to eliminate all of this wood rot as much as possible. So we could cut it out. That would, I'd leave that up to the contractor, because I said before, I don't know how to do it. Okay. So that's what we'd do, is we'd have to rebuild this shed, and we don't want to lose it because it's a place for lawnmowers, bicycles, and what have you. Then we moved to this side here. This was a deck that was put on here, and it's seen a little bit of wear and tear. So we might want to resurface this. We don't want to lose it, but we might want to resurface it and maybe make it look better from a visual standpoint. So, and then we have this pergola. And the pergola has got all kinds of damage to it. It's falling apart over here and what have you. I talked to the owner, and I think we would just eliminate this. Okay? So this would be a part of the demolition. So now you got to have somebody that knows how to come in, turn this on, take this away. So you have to have somebody that can come in and demo this part of the house. If we look forward here, you can kind of see that the AC unit is sitting there. We don't know if it's working correctly or not. That will be determined as they get in here and work to make sure that the condensing unit is okay. Now the other thing that we need to look for, I don't see it here, we got to find the electrical mast. Might be on the other side of the house. So let's walk back that way, because I don't see it here. Oh, one thing here. This is called a quick disconnect, and it's not so quick to disconnect right now because they've got this shut. And the reason that well, no, it isn't. It's open. We want to shut that, though. We want to make this so that we can put a lock on it, because there is a propensity for people to steal these condensing units. So when they steal the condensing unit, it's as simple as opening that box up, and in that box there's a circuit breaker. And if you pull the circuit breaker out, you can cut all this stuff and not fear of being electrocuted. So a lot of people will go ahead and put a cage around this.
Yes.
So there's another trade.
Yeah.
You got to have somebody that can test this AC unit out. So that's HVAC. And then you've got to have somebody that can maybe put a cage around this. So that's another trade. Somebody that does that for a living. And there's a big call for it in St. Louis.
Most definitely.
All right, so let's see if we can find that mast.
No, not so far. Follow the wire if we can find it.
On top of the house. I can't see it from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the rule here is that the electrical mast has to be 16 feet from the ground to the mast. So if it's on the roof, we're probably okay. So we'll now go on the inside of the house. But if we did have to do something to that electrical mast, now we need an electrician. How many trades have you got so far? Alright, so when we came here, we didn't need to get into this house. Well, you might turn around here a little bit. So, do I carry 35. Oh, see, we manage almost 1,000 units. Do I need to carry around 1,000 keys? So we're probably going to have to get somebody that can master these doors for us so that we can open them up at will.
Right on. Okay.
And so now we got a locksmith.
Gotcha.
Okay, we're going to go on the inside of the house. Okay, so this house has got older windows. Now they're probably in fairly good condition, but we do want to make sure that we don't have lead-based paint issues and they're operational. Well, that one's not operational. I can't open it. So, the things that we're going to start to do in here before we even do any of that is that we got to trash this thing out. So now you got to have a guy that can do trash outs. So we got a guy that can do trash outs. Then we're going to go through and we're going to check all these windows. This one opens up.
Okay.
And so we check in here. You come over here and look. This is the window sill. It looks in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
But that's where you'll get a lot of lead-based issues. And you saw that window come down all by itself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The inspector will want to make sure that that is not going to happen, because if there was a fire and somebody had to go out this window and the window fell down on top of it, that wouldn't be good. So I'm going to stop it here for a minute.